All right, so if you're thinking about moving to coastal Florida, areas like New Smyrna Beach, Ormond Beach, Daytona Beach Shores, Ponce Inlet, then there's a few mistakes I see people make over and over again, okay? And some of these mistakes can cost you tens of thousands of dollars. So in this video, we're gonna talk about the 7 biggest mistakes that people make when moving to coastal Florida. And if you're relocating here, this could save you a huge headache. Let's get started. Hey there, if you're new to the channel, you want to learn everything there is to know about living in coastal Volusia County, areas like New Smyrna Beach, Daytona Beach, Ormond Beach, you've come to the right place. My name is Matt Ecoff. This is my beautiful wife, Rachel Ecoff. We are local real estate experts here on the coast. And on this channel, we talk about neighborhoods, flood zones, school zones, lifestyle, and what it's really like to live at the beach. And listen, we get phone calls, emails, text messages, and invites every day from people just like you wanting to move to the beach. So whether that be in 2 days, 20 days, or 200 days, please don't hesitate to reach out. We'd love to help you move to the beach. Please make sure you hit the like button and subscribe so you get all the updates and notifications about New Smyrna Beach and surrounding areas in coastal Volusia County. All right, so let's get into mistake number 1. Now, I want to be clear and have a disclaimer here across the screen. Disclaimer, this is not fear-mongering, okay? This is just facts. These are just things that we see all the time, and we want to make sure that you avoid them, okay? So I'm not trying to scare you, I'm just trying to be honest. And when you guys call and email and text and Zoom invite all the time, we hear that that's the number one thing that you like about us is that we're genuine and we're telling you the truth and we're not trying to sell you some fluff, okay? So today is not about selling fluff, it's about making sure that we avoid these mistakes. So mistake number 1, easy, no ifs, ands, or buts about it, not understanding flood zones.
I think that's your number 1 question you get asked every single time.
Yep.
is a people's fear and concern about flood zones.
Flood zones for sure. Insurance cost also, and then sharks and alligators. Of course, ask about that all the time. So listen, this one doesn't surprise many people relocating here, I don't think, because it is, again, the thing that they ask me the most. Not every property near the beach is a high flood risk, okay? Some are, but most aren't. In fact, beachside New Smyrna is higher than a lot of the mainland New Smyrna and has better flood zone areas in a lot of the areas than a lot of mainland.
Yeah, you wouldn't think that, like being closer to the water and closer to the beach, but it's factual, and you can look it up on the FEMA maps.
Yep, absolutely, which we do all the time, and I do when I'm looking at properties. Most of the areas I know, but you know, we still look them up.
Oh, absolutely.
So listen, flood zones can affect things like your insurance, your building requirements, and the resale value, because people that understand flood zones are going to be looking at that. And if they have a good agent like me, then that'll be something that they're looking for in the future. Okay, so before buying a home near the coast, make sure that you understand if it is flood zone X, X500, AE, VE, DE, anything with an E at the end is no bueno, okay?
Okay, yeah, and I think that's, and people don't know what those flood zones mean, but flood zone X is the best you can be in because it's high and dry.
Doesn't seem like it because it's X.
It sounds, yeah, it sounds negative, but you actually are looking for, your X marks the spot.
Yep.
That's what you're looking for.
Yep, X and X500, okay? Make sure you understand all this because it can really change the cost of ownership. Number 1 mistake, not understanding flood zones. All right, let's get into number 2, which is underestimating insurance costs. Again, we were just saying in mistake number 1, flood zones is the number 1 thing that we get asked about. Number 2 is insurance costs. So underestimating insurance costs is mistake number 2. Insurance is one of the biggest surprises most people get when moving here to Florida, okay? Between wind insurance, flood insurance, homeowners insurance, this cost can change dramatically depending on the property, okay? It's not always based on the age. It's based on really more of the 4-point inspection that we have when we go under contract. You get a general home inspection and then you get a 4-point inspection. The 4-point inspection is looking at the roof and its age, the air conditioning and its age, the plumbing and its age and location, and the electrical. And those are going to be the deciding factors on what your insurance cost is going to be. So if you live in a flood zone X where it doesn't flood and you don't need flood insurance, but you have a 20-year-old roof past its useful life, or you have a water heater that's in the attic, these are dangerous things for insurance companies to take on. Right. And so the cost is going to be more expensive than maybe a 1950 house that has a brand new roof and a tankless water heater outside.
True.
So these things, again, this can change dramatically depending on the property, depending on the age. But let me ask you something. Would you rather buy a slightly cheaper house or buy the house with much lower insurance long term?
I want the house with lower insurance for sure. That's what I would choose. Also, I think it's a good point to make and you really have to shop your insurance claims every year in Florida. We do it. We saved about $6,000 this year.
Yep, you did.
In insurance.
Yep, which that rolls into our mortgage. So $6,000 over a 12-month period. I'm not a mental math genius, but that's a lot of money per month. $500, in fact. I just did it in my head because I am a mental math genius. So that's $500 a month off of our mortgage payment by just shopping the insurance. So it is smart to shop it every 12 to 24 months. It's a good idea to do that because you never know what you're going to have. But make sure that you have that updated 4-point inspection because they're going to ask for that. They're going to want your roof age and HVAC age and plumbing age and location and all that kind of stuff. So I do think, honestly, the second option, the much lower insurance long term, is the better idea than the cheaper house. It's just a better deal.
All right, so we are getting into mistake number 3.
Yes, which is ignoring HOA and rental rules. Okay, now this is especially important for buyers who are thinking about renting the property in the future, whether that is short-term or long-term, whether it be that they want to live here except for spring break or bike week or Daytona 500 because they don't like NASCAR people or motorcycle rides, I don't know, but also, or maybe they just want to capitalize on the opportunity and rent, or maybe they're capitalizing on the opportunity and they want to rent during heavy rental weeks or months. But you got to understand these restrictions. So some HOAs, for example, whether it's condo or HOAs like Venetian Bay or LPGA International or Latitudes Margaritaville, don't allow short-term rentals. Some of them make you do monthly rentals or 2 months rentals, and some of them make you rent for at least a year if you're going to do a rental.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good point, is if you're not 100, like if that's something you're looking to do, you're looking to have an income property, you really do need to know what those HOA standards are, what is required during those times, because even on New Smyrna Beach Island, we have different rental rules.
I was going to say, we're not even an HOA.
Yeah, exactly. We're not even in an HOA, and yet the island has rental requirements by zones.
Based on the historical community and not. So, for example, let's just talk about the island for a second, 12 miles long. We have 2 miles, which is North Beach, from Flagler Avenue to the inlet. That's the most northern part of the island. That's 2 miles long, maybe, I don't know, 200 yards wide in the farthest spot. That's where we live. There is no short-term rental.
Right.
It's 30-day minimum here. But you go just a couple streets over and you go to Central Beach, which is 44 to Flagler Avenue, only 0.9 miles wide and 0.9 miles long. They don't have any restrictions. So you could do 2 nights, you could do Airbnb, VRBO.
But you couldn't do that here.
You could not do that here.
It puts a restriction on you, and you have to really understand, oh, I can't do that there. What if you bought a house in North Beach because you wanted to use it as an income property and you just wanted to be gone during that time that it's real busy and you wanted to rent it out, and then you don't even have that option? Or you're doing it illegally, which if you did, you could get in trouble. You could get in trouble,
yeah. So I would say that that's why it's important to work with a local agent, because if you're working with somebody that doesn't understand the area and doesn't understand how those rentals go or the HOAs go, then you're going to be stuck in that position. You just bought this great house, you thought you got this great deal, and you're like, man, my real estate agent was awesome. He was so funny and he was so nice, not as funny or nice as me, and definitely not as handsome, but he was so nice. He was, he did a great job, but he had you buy a house in an area that you can't do what you bought the house to do.
Yeah, and what a bummer that would be.
So look, again, it could be short-term, it could be monthly, it could be annual. Others restrict them all the way together. So you got to understand that. So if rental flexibility matters to you, make sure that you understand the rules before you buy. That's really the main takeaway here. So, and again, you have to know this stuff too for condos. Like, for example, I have Seascape Towers and 5207 South Atlantic Avenue. I have that. They're so busy during Q1 of the year, January, February, March, that they changed the rules in the bylaws. They changed them from 1 week minimum rental to now 2 weeks, only for Q1.
Oh,
so,
okay.
And then the rest, Q2, Q3, Q4 is still 1 week minimum rental. So it's just knowing these caveats and understanding that, because again, like you said, if you have an idea to make this an investment property, to do something particular, and then you can't do that thing, that obviously...
That's a bummer.
That's a bummer, yeah. So, okay, let's get into mistake number 4, which is not visiting during the summer.
Ooh, okay. Yeah. Like, and you're saying if you don't live here, you want somebody to come and visit during the summer months just so that they can actually understand what it is that.
Yeah. So here's something funny. Okay, so we get people that visit a lot, especially snowbirds, that visit in January, February, March when the weather's perfect. We're in March. We're in the second week of March right now. It's gorgeous outside. Then they move here, and then the 1st July hits and they're like, holy crap, wait, this is hot.
Humidity,
and it is
heat,
humid. So
and we get rain.
Florida summers are real. Yes, we get all of those things. Most people adapt quickly, but coming here in an off month where the weather is absolutely perfect outside, and it's perfect because I got the sun shining and I'm not sweating, and that's gorgeous. But then not understanding that July and August and September and plenty of Octobers during Halloween and trick-or-treat.
So warm outside.
It's still hot outside.
Yeah.
So if you hate the heat, this might not be the place for you. All right, mistake number 5. Now, this is something very underestimated by a lot of people. It's underestimating tourist season, because we do have tourist season. So
Yes,
if you're living near the beach, especially areas like Flagler Avenue in New Smyrna, Daytona Beach Shores, Ormond Beach, tourism season can get very, very busy, which then affects traffic and Publix wait times and restaurant wait times and all those different kind of things. So tourist season can get busy here.
And I think that's another good point for the one that you just made about coming during the summertime, not only to experience weather, not only to acclimate to what we do on a daily basis, but also get a feel for when it is busy, this is what everyday life is going to look like.
I'm saying that if meditation, your strict schedule is February, at the end of February to March, then Daytona Beach, beachside is probably not going to be the area that they want to move, because you have Daytona 500 and all the NASCAR fans, and then Bike Week right after, and it can get loud and it can get busy. I'm not saying they can't move there. I'm just saying maybe they don't want to if their meditation season is during those 2 weeks. So,
got it.
So now some people love that energy. They thrive in that. You know, others prefer quieter neighborhoods and a few minutes inland. That's okay too. It's about finding the right location that fits your lifestyle. I mean, we talk about that all the time. We are a lifestyle channel. Yes, we sell real estate, but this is a lifestyle channel. The location that fits your lifestyle. That's what we're trying to sell.
Right, exactly. And there's so many different locations within this small pocket of area that are entirely different. Daytona Beach versus New Smyrna Beach versus Ponce Inlet versus Ormond, all on this coast, all up and down the same beach, totally different places.
Yep.
I mean,
heck, the beach itself
is
different.
Can even
I mean,
be
we
different.
have, it's different down at Inlet almost all the time that we go down there. Our water and our sand is different here than it is at Canaveral Shores, which is only 8 miles away.
Yeah, and it blows my mind, but it's cool because you get to experience all these different locations within this little range, and it's like you get to go on like a mini vacation somewhere else.
Yeah,
it's really fun. All right, so we're gonna get into number 6.
Okay.
And it's a big one: not being prepared for hurricane season.
Yeah, I mean, look, hurricane is part of coastal living. I mean, whether you're on the Gulf side or you're on the Atlantic side, hurricane is something that you have to consider. The good news is homes are built with hurricane standards in mind. I mean, our house was built in 1946, and we have a huge 30-foot banyan tree out front that's gone through plenty of hurricanes, a lot more than I have, a lot more than you have. And so homes are built with hurricane standards in mind. Still, it's super important to understand things like storm and hurricane shutters, and if you need them, hurricane windows and sliders. That's important. Evacuation zones, emergency plans, having extra water and things like that. Batteries.
Secured water, batteries, making sure that you have, if you can, do a generator. You can also do a whole home generator. We have people that we know that install those. They're absolutely amazing during hurricane season. But it's really just about the prep. Now, once you're prepped, once you get that, all that down, I really feel like you're fine. It's not as scary as people want to make it sound.
You just have to go through one.
You have to
the first one that you go through, you get overwhelmed. You remember Ray and Marlene were going through their first one, and heck, they lived in the Cayman Islands, but this was a different thing for them because they lived on the water here, and they were scared to death. And then we got through Milton, and they're like, that wasn't that bad.
Right. And also, not to mention, this past year we had 0 hurricanes. It also can happen that way. We can get a couple back to back.
Say what year that is, because they might be watching this in 2030.
Well, we're in 2026, but in 2025, we had no hurricanes that hit the East Coast at all. And it was awesome. And you just never know, and that's why you have to be prepared. Because some years we might get a couple back to back, sometimes nothing.
it's not nearly as scary as some of the other natural disasters that I couldn't figure. You know, an earthquake that you don't know about,
can't
a
prepare
volcano
for it.
exploding. Well, volcanoes don't really explode, but they have an explosion. You know, a tornado. I mean, there's tons of tornadoes hitting right now in Oklahoma and Nebraska. You know, the fires in California. You have days to prepare for hurricanes, and it changes directions 300 times. If you've ever seen one of those
spaghetti maps?
Yeah, the spaghetti map. It goes all over the place, but you just have to go through one. They're not nearly as bad. But again, the mistake here is not thinking about the hurricane and being prepared for the hurricane.
And I think our biggest, the thing that we always experience going through hurricanes that's the most frustrating is really just the cleanup.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, it's tree debris, sometimes it's trash. It's usually not so dramatic. Now you will see some street signs.
But I'm going to go back to mistake number one though. But if you're living in a flood zone, it's way more disastrous than cleanup, because the cleanup could be inside the home.
Yes.
And we know people that have that happen to. The tennis pro where I play tennis, her house was 3 feet underwater. Her entire house was 3 feet underwater. And it took 12 to 18 months to get that fixed and back in order.
But what was so interesting about that was that the hurricane itself wasn't that bad. We didn't have a bunch of damage everywhere. It was literally that hurricane sat on us and dumped water. And that was what caused their flooding over in that area.
Yep. But still, I just wanted to tell the audience that it's not only about the debris. It can be about, obviously, the cleanup can be bigger if you don't pay attention to mistake number one.
But then that's when we call you to find the right flood zones.
I won't call you, but my number's listed, so they won't call you. All right, so let's get into the last one, which is mistake number 7, which is waiting too long to start the search. Okay, a lot of people wait until they're ready to move in 30 days before they start looking. But the most
scramble.
Yes, but the most successful relocations usually start months earlier. Let's talk about Marcel and Joanna for a second. They called from Wisconsin. Hey, we've been watching your videos. Hey, we're listing our property in the next couple weeks. We think it's going to go fast. When they listed, I'm like, we had a great conversation, a great Zoom meeting with them. And then when it listed, he told me, then after the first open house, he told me we got 3 offers. Then he told me when he got past the inspection period, hey, we're 2 weeks away. Then we're 1 week away. And then he's like, hey, we're coming in this weekend. Can we start looking at houses on Monday? That is prepared. That's being prepared, that's being ready. Sometimes though, we have people like Laura and Perry that come in for a discovery trip, and then at the 3rd house, they're like, oh yeah, we're ready to move. Let's make an offer on this one. Again,
Laura and Perry, by the way, love the house you chose. We're very, very excited for you.
If they watch the videos. Now that they found the house,
now that you found it, you might not watch it, but man, I'm excited for you guys.
In Sugar Mill, 2,400 square feet house, 4-bedroom, 3-bath, fully renovated on a cul-de-sac on the golf course. I negotiated down to $670,000, and they need nothing in that house. It is absolutely perfect. The most successful relocations are the ones that start early. It allows time for them to understand the neighborhoods, compare homes, understand and compare maybe the cities if they're unsure. Build a smart strategy to be ready to do this. Plus, get pre-approved, and if Perry and Laura were not pre-approved and didn't have the pre-approval letter ready for them,
to go,
we would have lost that deal because there was multiple offers on that thing. In fact, one that we were getting ready to make an offer on went under contract while the day after they looked at it.
Yeah, you want that preparedness. You want all your ducks in a row prepared, ready to go, so that if you do come across that perfect home, it doesn't slip through your fingers.
Yep. Yeah, because if we look at this house at 7 p.m. on a Friday, and you're like, I love this house. We had a lot of showings in the whole day, and this happens to be the perfect house, but you don't have that pre-approval letter, and maybe there's an open house at that house that weekend, you're going to get 20, 30 people that are now competing against you because you don't have a pre-approval letter, and you can't get that from a bank on the weekends. So now you got to wait till Monday to get that pre-approval letter because the agent won't accept an offer without a pre-approval letter. This is big stuff.
These are things that have happened.
There are things that have happened, and that's why it's on the mistake list. So don't make these mistakes. So listen, if you're thinking about moving to coastal Volusia County, we'd be happy to help you build a plan that fits your timeline and make sure that we avoid all 7 of these mistakes, because you don't want any one of them to happen. And even if you're not moving to this area, please reach out. We do get phone calls, emails, text messages, and Zoom invites every day from people just like you wanting to move, but not necessarily to the beach all the time. Sometimes they want to move somewhere else, because we work with great agents around the country, and Eggers and Volkers is my brokerage. We are a global brand with 3,300 locations. I can pre-qualify somebody for you and get you in the right hands before you go out and buy something somewhere else. So listen.
And if you just want somebody to give you advice or help connect you, like you said, to another agent, we're so excited and happy to do that too, because we just want to be a sounding board for people out there.
So I'm gonna say it again. Remember, we get phone calls, text messages, Zoom invites every day from people just like you wanting to move to the beach. So whether it's 2 days, 20 days, or 200 days, please don't hesitate to reach out. We'd love to help you move to the beach. Please make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, so you get all the updates and notifications about real estate. Just real estate. I was going to say about beachside living, but just really in real estate. So
we know more about beachside living real estate though.
Yes, but also about real estate. So just hit the subscribe button. Okay, just do it. All right. Thanks for joining us. See you next time.
Bye.